Okay, well, while we're waiting for the players, I guess we can take this time to talk about the two teams that are going up today. We're finally actually have some information on these teams, and I can only hope that as we go forward in this tournament, will be provided with this information as well. Tay, you are with me again today. Thank you very much. Why don't you talk about SKB a little bit, since they are the ones prime and ready in this lobby here?
Just taking a quick look over here. We have Hennock in the top lane, Kawaii Kevin as the jungler, BC Buddy will be playing mid, Davey SD is on AD carry, Danbro is on support. Looks like they run a comp with the top lane going tanky. Kawaii Kevin is a carry style jungler, has Lee Sin, Pantheon, Rengar, all recent in his match history. PC Buddy is a solid mid laner, likes his zigs, but does pull out some assassin picks with Fizz. Davey SD was known has been told to us as a consistent bot lane with a lot of good picks. He has Caitlyn, Jinx, Trist, and Vayne as his four most played and ranked. And Danbro came onto the scene with a surprise and a great blitzcrank.
Fantastic. And on the other side, for Salted Yams, their top laner is Denim FF. Their jungler, Mass Duck, is known to have started a controversy for last year that we'll get into. He's also known for Elise and Jarvan playing that carry jungler role. Their mid lane, Yam R, is known for playing that Yasuo, so we might actually see some Yasuo banned out against him. Uh, and their ADC is Obzin Phoenix. He is actually a Godicon finalist, placing second, and used to be on the Challenger division actually. They are though not playing with a support. Well, their regular support, so they might be subbing in for today. I don't know how that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to affect them today. Their team usually revolves around mid and ADC as the hard carries, so those are probably two of the positions that will be taking a close look at today. Speaking of this match is kind of a grudge match, and it's very highly anticipated. Why don't you talk more about that?
Well, this was the semifinals from last season with SKB edging out Salted Yams, who are used to be known as Carpe Diem, in a very close 2-1 match, I believe. Uh, so we're gonna be seeing a little bit of salt from Salted Yams this game as they want to get a little bit of revenge back. Sounds like Yammer on Salted Yams and SKB's mid laner are actually good friends. So there's a little on the line here. There's actually a name change bet happening in the mid lane.
Oh, so definitely those two putting their pride on the line. I believe they have to change their name to whatever the winner decides. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe after the game, we'll ask what the name change is going to be.
Definitely. I'm sure that both Yammer and I believe who is SK or
BC buddy.
BC Buddy have already been stewing about what name they would like to give each other. Um, So that's it. Again, as you said earlier, this is a rematch from last season's semifinals, where SKB did squeak out a 2-1 victory. But in that third deciding match, Salted Yams did have a DC. Their jungler DC'd for about 10 minutes that game. Um, and that might have contributed to SKB squeaking out the win, considering the fact that Salted Yams were up two inhibs that game.
Oh wow, that's So maybe that's why they changed their name to Salted Yams, because that would make me kind of upset there.
That would make me one salted team is correct. So as everyone is trickling out here, um, what do you think we can expect from that mid lane matchup, considering the fact that both these players are pretty scrappy, just from their previous match histories?
I feel that BC Buddy definitely knows the play style from Yammer. So he should be giving him the respect he deserves when it comes. Might be picking up a farm champion in the mid lane. Try to be safe, like that Ziggs. He also has Zireth and Orion in his match history, so someone that just sits back and farm. Yammer, on the other hand, loves his assassin. I believe he actually played Kassadin quite a bit last season as well. Yammer actually even pulled out a Renekton mid versus my team last season. So not afraid of those unconventional picks mid and likes the fight.
Yeah, as both team captains have told me, they are pretty scrappy when it comes to fighting. But on SKB's side of things, they are known to come from behind because of their aggressive play. They are usually uh, they are usually quite behind when it comes to overall either objectives or gold as a team. So they are used to being in that position, and that might actually help them around the more controlled style of salted yams. But that's not to say I use the word controlled very lightly because uh, as we know, these two teams definitely like to they like to fight. So,
And for this matchup, it looks like Super Quiet Boys will be seeded ahead. So they'll get to pick their side in two of the games, where Salt and Yams only gets to pick one. See if that gives any advantages there. Maybe you see that Dignitas only want red side pick again.
that is true. That is on the assumption that they go to the third game. I don't see this game actually ending in a 2-0. It would be very uh, it'd be very weird to see them get 2-0'd by SKB. So this should probably go all the way to that third match, and I can only hope that we'll see lots of action.
Just in the game, in the in-game lobby here, you can tell these guys are both pretty well acquainted with each other. Little smack talk already going down.
Speaking of that smack talk, Salted Yams jungler is known for his Photoshop skills. So that on top of his great BM, his legendary BM, provides some actually spectacular uh, pictures that he posts for SKB in on the Facebook page for the BC Amateur League.
Oh yeah, the trash talk thread was real on the Facebook page.
He would like to share this, one of his photoshops. I enjoy. It's very his Photoshop skills are legend. Wait for it, dairy. So it looks like we have everybody in the lobby. We're just waiting for the go ahead in this match. I thought that's the same thing. That's the same thing. I didn't know that they were. What? That's, Oh dear. Okay, all fun and jokes aside, this game should be quite good again. There has been so much hype coming up to this games. As you can see, a lot of these players are highly ranked individually. So they are bringing a lot of experience to the team as a whole.
It looks like, yeah, both teams, as you can see here. Well, actually, on the side of SKB, that's the ranked 5 team is the one that's Plat Division 2, Jarvan's Force Alliance. There's a couple members of the team that you can see there, all on that team. So they do have good experience playing together. Definitely in the ranked ladder as well.
Uh, yeah, and I can't stress that enough on how important it is to not only do the team five, the ranked five games together with your team, but also to solo queue, to duo queue with your teammates. Having the ADC and support get to know each other very well while duo queuing, as well as the jungler and mid laners going. Unfortunately, top lane gets a little love lost, being by himself all the way up there, but that is known to be the island. Anyway, without further ado, we are in the picks and ban stage. As we said earlier before, SKB is going to be our first seed, so they will have first ban. Or sorry, last ban. Yeah, no?
Oh, first ban.
First ban, yeah, first ban
Oh, there's the
on it.
Ziggs. Already banning out the BC buddy.
Showing that respect to BC Buddy for his Ziggs play. They apparently don't want him to just sit back and farm. They want to earn that name change. Again, guys, this is the BC Amateur League quarterfinals. SKB versus Salted Yams. So again, I have to put out that Salted Yams is running with a sub for their support. So again, I don't know how that's going to go, considering the fact that they do rely on that mid laner and ADC to carry the game. Morgana and Tristana, definitely not surprising bans. Morgana very strong in that bot lane with that black shield, negating a lot of CC that would normally catch an ADC unawares, and Tristana very strong in the late game with her tremendous amount of range.
Do you know if SKB is running a sub there? Because they don't have their 80 carry listed that was Davy SD. It is all day on their side, so I'm not sure if that was a name change or if that is a sub.
Sorry, that was for SKB?
Yes, the all day second pick there.
SKB should be running with their full lineup, as far as I know. Yes, their ADC is we have confirmation that is a sub ADC. Davy SD was their regular ADC, but they are running with a sub all day, which is highly unfortunate because from what I have been told, Davy SD is a very consistent player for SKB. And he is actually known for having a very high CS count in the game, usually the top CS count in the game. Whether or not that is something that is going to be lost for SKB, we don't know, but we can only hope and see how all day's performance will affect SKB's lineup. There is something though, very interesting. Yasuo picked up for SKB.
Wanting to take it away from Yammer. I'm sure they didn't want to deal with his most played champion.
Yeah. So we'll see if BC Buddy can can definitely hope. Zach being hovered out by SKB, uh, definitely a very comfort pick if that does go through.
Yeah, Zach is Hinook's most played champion right now in rank. Very comfortable with him.
Yeah, and again that very aggressive Lee Sin on Kawaii Kevin.
As well,
Definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
so there's a synergy knockups for Yasuo all throughout the team.
Yes. Um, and we all know what happens when a team has the freedom to build a team comp around Yasuo, as TSM showed in their first game of the group stages, utterly destroying that match. But enough about SKB. Let's switch over to Assaulted Yams and their team comp. It's
Well,
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Talk a
I'll
little bit
say
about that.
Lucian is the most played AD carry for the Obzone Phoenix.
Yeah. And the consistent heal from Nami, the slow on her E for his double shot passive, along with the Lulu, makes him very, very safe in team fights. Maokai great at peeling for his team. And a Vlad picked up for Yamar.
Haven't seen that in the mid lane in a long time.
So, the way things stand for these two teams, it's looking like SKB is going to be wanting to get picks. There's a lot of burst damage on that team, especially with all the knockups centered around Yasuo, while Salted Yams is looking for a more prolonged fight, with heavily relying on Lucian to deal the amount of damage with, you know, the amplification from the Vlad ulti and the support from the Lulu and Nami.
Yeah, they're looking for those drawn out fights. They have a lot of good tank. Lulu can keep everyone healthy, keep them up. Nami can keep them healthy. Vlad has the sustain. But if SKB can pull off a great knockup, getting three or more members up in there, Yasuo can get a great ult off and turn the tide of the fight right off the start, which would kind of counteract the sustain coming out from the other side.
That's true. So, as the two places to look for on this matchup, we are told there is a very high stakes in the mid lane, but also in the bot lane, where both teams require both their ADCs to perform well. How do you see the bot matchup going? The Caitlyn and Braum versus the Nami and Lucian.
Caitlyn has that range advantage, especially since Lucian's last nerf, or not really nerf, the last real rework, took him out of 500 range. It's about 150 range difference, so Caitlyn should be harassing at every CS Lucian goes for. Braum, on the other hand, does have a weaker laning phase compared to the Nami, but that shield will destroy Nami's ult. So it could go either way. If the Nami is able to get the bubbles out, keep Caitlyn a little bit off harassing Lucian, it could go towards Salted Yam's laning phase, just because the Braum takes a little while to tank up, scale up, but the Caitlyn should help him get through that phase by just having that range advantage.
There. Um, and then looking towards the mid lane, the wind wall from Yasuo I, is not going to be very effective. I believe Q goes through it.
Vlad's Q is on hit, is an instant.
Yeah, the only thing that it is blocking is going to be his E. So as long as Vlad is smart in that matchup, he does have a lot more sustain than Yasuo. Though we can't underestimate the fact that Yasuo has surprising damage once that Shiv is complete. And a lot of people definitely underestimate that power spike after that Shiv is finished up on him.
So just finishing up with the delay running down here, almost in game. I'm excited to see how this goes. Both team fights can be explosive though. If the Vlad gets a great ult off, it's a lot of damage amplification for the Lucian, for the Lulu, and the damage reduction from Maokai. So they actually have a damage amplifier and a damage reduction for their team fights.
Yeah, team fights will definitely be quite interesting to watch. A lot of action going to be. Uh, One of the big matchups, though, that we haven't really talked about in this match, and I wish I was really up to date with the jungle because it is one of the things that I enjoy doing myself. That Lee Sin versus Maokai, there is a lot of potential for some early ganks. Maokai's Twisted Advance, Lee Sin's Q. They both have some gap closers. Maokai edges out on that when it comes to ganking though because of that the root on Twisted Advance, just adding to the CC. But Lee Sin has the damage.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how Kawaii follows Maokai around because I feel Lee Sin in an overall fight, the shield can come out to block some damage, and Lee Sin does just out damage Maokai in the 2v2. If he's ganking mid, they'll have the Yasuo Lee Sin versus a Maokai Vlad. Both Maokai and Vlad take a little time to scale up. So early game, I want to see if Lee Sin can find Maokai and get those counter ganks off.
Yes, it's going to be up to Maokai to protect his own jungle and not fall behind. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is again the BC Amateur League quarterfinals. SKB versus Salted Yams, with SKB starting in the blue side and Salted Yams over on the red side. Ping's going
So
down for SKB, protecting Lee Sin on his red.
and very standard items bought here. The one thing I'd point out is Lulu taking Crystalline Flask and has Biscuit, so she's in the utility tree. She wants to just sustain and match the sustain from Zac.
Yes, Lulu, a very comfort pick for yourself, if I'm not mistaken, Tay. How does that matchup go for Lulu versus Zac?
It's been a long time since I've seen a Zac, but at the end of the day, Lulu gets the harass out. She is ranged, Zac's melee. If she can keep those autos coming out, she can keep Zac a little bit lower in health. At 6, they both have knockups, and Lulu gets that a health shield from her ult. So it's not a lot of kill potential in that lane, but Lulu has the teleport. So let's see how she does TPing in and changing the tides of the fight a bit more than Zac, because he is running that ignite.
Some aggressive wards coming out from Salted Yams. They do have complete vision on Kawaii Kevin, as he's starting for that red. But they aren't going in on that because they know that SKB's level 1 potential is definitely dwarfs them with the damage that they can put out in level 1.
So yeah, we're not going to be seeing too much action here. Probably going to be waiting until standard buff starts, both sides. So probably going to be waiting until the level 3 after blue buff for Lee Sin and after red from Maokai.
One of the interesting buys that I see, and maybe it's because I'm out of touch with facing a Vlad as well, is he started off with boots and pots.
Well, he wants to be able to keep moving, try to dodge those Qs coming in from Yasuo, and the extra health pots just help him sustain in lane a bit more from the harass, and his abilities take away his health as well. So he wants to make sure he's keeping topped up there.
So it's looking like it's a very just safe early game. And as soon
Oh,
as I
we have
say
some
that,
action top lane.
yeah, Maokai is looking for a gank on that Zac, but he just is able to bounce away, um, like the rubbery ball he is.
Yeah, Zac actually got a ward just before Maokai came up there. Good ward on him, keeping him safe. Lee Sin's doing a full jungle clear, so he wants to be about level 4 before his first gank.
Ping's going down on the for salted yams on the entrance of the blue buff for SKB. I think Maokai was looking for an invade there. A fight happening in the top lane. Great harass coming from both sides. Um, Gank from Lee Sin down bot lane, catches out Phoenix. Braum jumps in, attaches his passive, but I think there's some discrepancies on who they want to target. Danbro definitely wanting to go on the Nami, and that might be, you know, the sub, that support sub, not having that much synergy.
Under the tower.
Oh, missed that exchange, but it looks like Yasuo seems to be all right.
Yeah, very scrappy game so far. Everyone's coming out low health bars. We see flashing red on SKB side. We see the flashing red. And
Yeah.
unsuccessful ganks for both junglers at early levels here.
Yeah, you cannot underestimate the fact that Zac still has his passive though, so that health could be a little misleading if Lulu decides to commit, you know, to diving him.
Yeah, but the harass is allowing Lulu to get that CS lead, and especially with teleport over ignite, the fact that she's winning these early game trades is making that ignite almost a useless pick at this point because teleport's just going to outscale.
So Caitlyn, going back for the first time before Lucian, or changes her mind. Again, these teams really scrappy. I don't know if that's going to be a great call. But Kawaii Kevin on that Lee Sin is looking for a lane gank. Q lands on Nami. The flash forced out, but Lucian also forced a flash. Braum's passive, Braum's wall, but the TP coming from Lulu.
Great teleport.
The teleport from Lulu definitely picking up that kill on that Braum. Fantastic. Zac not able to push up that top lane because he did go back. Him being low from that gank did force, and now Masduck is looking to put some deep wards in the Lee Sin, Lee Sin's red. He knows that that'll be spawning soon. He is coming. They do want a tower dive. This very low Caitlyn. Twisted Advance goes in. Double shot. And Lucian is able to clean that up with ease. And Salted Yams up with the early lead. I don't know how much Kevin can do in the mid lane against that level 6 Vlad. It might have ended up with him dying.
He was smart to back out there. Something to point out is actually the bot lane, Danbro, is the usual support. Actually is playing AD carry, and all day their sub comes in with the Braum, who is the most played champion for him in ranked. So he is comfortable in that Braum, but Danbro might not be as comfortable in AD carry as he would be on his support role.
Yes, and again, going back to the fact that he decides to stay for that Lee Sin gank only to get his support killed. It was the call definitely should have been made that that Danbro was low and couldn't go into that engagement. I think they were relying too much on Lee Sin's damage for that fight,
And Lee
and
Sin's
they
still
pay for it.
very squishy at this point of the game.
Mass Duck looking again at that Yasuo mid. Just decides to help Yamar push that mid lane. I think Zach is at a loss at this top lane. He does want to go in on this Lulu, but Lulu just has so much kiting potential with that slow. Ulti popped for Lulu, wants to fight this, but Zach has the answer. Ignite goes onto Lulu.
That's enough.
Is it enough?
That's enough. Yes.
It is enough. And as I say that he doesn't have an answer, he steps up his harass game.
Yeah, well played by him. That Negatron coming out early was a smart buy, negating almost all of Lulu's damage.
Maokai wanting to make something happen, but also forgets that he still has his passive. Kawaii Kid up on this counter ganking though, this Maokai. Can't make anything happen.
Yeah, Zach still had his passive up, so that was a little strange fight that Lulu wanted to force there. Especially since she could have just taken the lane advantage with teleport. Doesn't have the combat stats Zach has with the ignite, so it's got a little overzealous with her her lead from the assist she picked up bottom.
With that early lead though on Phoenix, Nami Nesu on that Yami is able to roam and clear out some wards for Salted Yams. They do have Lee Sin's red very much covered, you know, with a pink to the entrance.
Two pinks actually in the red side jungle there. Deep pinks.
Oh, Bubble lands the culling coming out from Lucian, but Braum
Great
doing his
shield.
job, blocking out all of that damage. Danbro being forced to go back, and that just cements Phoenix and Nesu's lead down in the bot lane. They will be able to push that, get some damage to the turret, and Maokai, again, being forced to tank some of those turrets hit. I don't agree with this. They should really be looking towards that dragon. It is at the 10-minute mark. They did force Caitlyn out of lane, and they have the vision on dragon.
Yeah, but Maokai, it doesn't look like Maokai is quite ready to do that.
Ignite lands on Braum, Bubble as well. Shield from... Oh, the flash from Nami wasn't quite enough to block that Caitlyn
Can Lulu
ulti.
turn this fight around though?
And yeah, Caitlyn is able to pick up the Lebron. On top of the
And
Lebron.
Lulu was a little late on the teleport there. She wasn't quite able to come in, save the day, turn the fight around. And Phoenix loses a bit of his lead that he picked up there.
Yeah, I think there was some miscommunication. These bubbles from Nami are on point. Great harass coming down from Lulu, but tanks a little too much of the tower. They are getting very greedy on this tower, and they really want it down. I think that was the point. They wanted to get the tower down first before looking to Dragon, just so that they have some of that vision provided deeper in SKB's territory by their pushing minions.
And Zach can answer top lane with his pushing power.
There you are, and as I said before, they just wanted that turret down, but they are standing on top of a ward. Sweeper's now going down to clear out that vision. Lee Sin, though, is here, known for those steals. Bubble, though, from Nami, on point.
Doesn't pick it up.
And pays for it with his life. Missed call on that Braum. Caitlyn wasn't there, and Vlad being on the other side of the wall to help provide vision on that Lee Sin. Just great control by Salted Yams. Definitely.
And both pink wards still standing. Braum did not see the pink ward as he walked through the brush warding for that dragon. So little bit of a miss there on his part. So the vision still staying strong for Salted Yams.
And as you said, Zach was supposed to answer top lane, but he wasn't able to get it down. He instead backs off. So Salted Yams definitely running away with the lead that they're created. With even LeBron going down in the bot lane, they still managed to come out ahead.
As Zach just doesn't have push potential. You need either AD or AP to get the damage down on the turrets, and Zach's going to be stacking health. Similar to Rise in the fact that he just doesn't have the auto attack damage to take out the turrets.
Slingshot happening. Zach not not making up his mind whether or not he wants to put some harass, but he will
He does
just.
pick up the early Spirit Visage, so he should be sustaining okay in lane here. And
Oh, ulti's going down for both players in the top lane. That is a very good pick too, because Salted Yams is running double AP comp. But Nesu warding very aggressively for Salted Yams, making sure they keep track of that Lee Sin. Speaking of Lee Sin, he does hop onto Barricade in the top lane and picks up that kill. Just
and
very,
Flash.
yeah, just very pushed up without warding. And gets caught out by the Lee Sin. Nesu knows that he's still around here. Maokai is up here to answer, but I don't think these two have enough damage. Q lands on Nami. Tidal Wave goes down.
Tidal Wave
goes down, but Yasuo, BC Buddy, coming in for the flank, picks up the kill on Yasuo, forces Mass Duck to flash over the Baron Pit while he decides to go back in. I don't know how smart that is. He is by himself. Vlad
comes
here,
to the party.
Yeah, Vladimir comes here, but it is exhaust goes down from Braum, but it is a 2 vs 4 here. Ulti from Braum all day, knocking up that Yasuo. Sorry about that. Pool finally, but I think they'll be able to pick him up. Yasuo just dashing to all these targets. Mass Duck needs to back out, get out of dodge, but no, they want this Zach, but
They're
again,
still
his
fighting.
passive. They are still fighting. Zach's passive popped Mass Duct on that Maokai, pays for it with his life. Phoenix able to pick up Braum, the flash into double shot to pick up the Lee Sin kill. Oh my goodness.
People that died at the beginning of this fight came back to keep this fight going and catch the 3 kills to even up the trade. That fight lasted about a minute and a half there, so there was a lot of action going down.
Yeah, and I still think that Salted Yams came ahead of that fight. Bad decision from from their Maokai to continue that fight being very, very low, but in the end he buys enough time for Lucian to pick up a double kill. And Lucian brings down the second middle tower. He is sitting on 5-1 right now. Lucian is a beast.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, it has that Infinity Edge, has about 2k gold to spend still, so he's going to be coming into lane nearly with whatever is his second item he chooses. If it's a static Shiv, whether it's a Bork, so he's got a lot of advantage in that bot lane over the Caitlyn, who's still working on Infinity Edge.
Yeah, just to put this into perspective, he is almost 3k up. He is 3k up on the Caitlyn. For that, definitely Salted Yams coming out swinging in this first matchup. And just as a support player myself, Salted Yams' vision in this game. Nesu has been doing such a good job. Look at the spread for this team.
He's been all over this map.
Like just turning. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but just turning off, going to red vision, they see almost all the map. Whereas SKB does not. They only have vision on their blue buff.
And those 2 pink wards that were placed early and deep in the jungle, still holding strong, just shows you that the control Yams have in the enemy jungler right now, that they can't even clear vision wards that they can see without sweeping.
It is. It should be noted though that SKB is known to play from behind. So this position is very comfortable for them. Whereas for normal teams, it would be a pretty stressful, right? Ulti comes out from Vladimir, putting on some damage. No follow-up though.
He's just trying to zone them out for that tower. That's their main goal right now, is just getting that tower.
This. Salted Yam should be backing out now. They do have that dragon timer. Actually, both teams do have that dragon timer, and it is up. Kawaii Kid, eating a full culling to the face, is able to jump towards Braum to safety, but drops very low. That's one less person to get this, to protect this bot tower, and it does fall. Kawaii Kid being zoned out of his own jungle. That's Lulu picking apart that blue buff, along with now Phoenix picking up his red, and they turn to Baron. Or sorry, my bad, Dragon. A little too early for Baron, despite their lead.
And even with Zac getting those early kills, getting that early help top, Lulu with the range just out harasses him, keeps him out of lane, and is just getting that push down over and over again, and Zac can't answer because he just doesn't have the push power that Lulu has.
Yeah. Item wise, that Morella Macan, yes, Morella Macan, picked up on Lulu to negate some of that health regen from Zac. Very smart pick. Despite some questionable decisions with Zac passive being up. And that might just be because Zac is not a normal pick. He's definitely fallen out of favor in both, ranked 5s and solo queue. He's a very niche pick.
Yeah, he just doesn't quite have a home right now in this meta. He's a little bit weak in the jungle, he's a little bit weak in the top. He doesn't quite match up with the objective control that we want to see out of top laners and junglers. So very odd pick, but Henuk has 100+ games on him in ranked. So if anyone's gonna know how to play him in this league, it's gonna be this guy.
Definitely. Again, Nasu just doing a tremendous job rewarding
damage.
Up.
Lucian just 3-shot Caitlyn there.
Oh, I'm sorry, folks, I missed that. But yeah, he has been given double buffs and is just split pushing by himself. They know that it will take more than one person to stop him, and SKB is very slow to respond to this push. Q missing on Lee Sin, but Nami is right there to support. They now turn to mid tower. No, Zac gets caught out. Twisted advance coming from Maokai to keep him there. Flash from Phoenix is able to pop his passive, but this should be quite an easy cleanup for Salted Yams.
He took a lot of harass just trying to clear out wards. Not sure if that was the best decision to just stand there and take the Lulu harass while clearing those 2 wards.
Yeah, Maokai wanting to make something happen. Twisted advance and Lulu ulti popped on him. He's just tanking these turrets. They're going in on all day. Twisted advance comes up against such a short cooldown, and Lulu picks up that kill on that Braum, and they are looking towards that inhib.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
SKB might definitely be versed in coming from behind, but the deficit might just be way too much for them to handle.
Yeah, Ups and Phoenix getting his comfort pick on Lucian, has his most played champion, might be warranting a ban next game the way he's playing it right now.
I also feel that Yasuo, though going even with that Vladimir, as I say that, he does end up picking Maokai. They do stay a little too long in that jungle, and SKB does have vision of their blue. Lee Sin going down to Lulu. That's not a smart play. He is level 11 versus that level 13 Lulu. Uh, Able to put down a lot of poke on him. As I was saying, Yasuo still yet to build up his big ticket item. He instead goes for the Blade of the Rune King. I don't know if I like that option. Infinity Edge or well, Infinity Edge should definitely have been his second item. He is losing a lot of power for that, and this comp is built around him. BC Buddy needs to step it up and make plays happen for his team. But
Well, honestly, I just don't think he was getting the gold flow to afford the bigger cost items Infinity Edge requires, and he needed that sustain because of all the pressure Salted Yams are putting out. So I see why he picked up the Cutlass, but it also shows great play from Salted Yams, forcing him away from his big power spike.
yes, very smart play indeed. Knowing that this comp, it was built around BC Buddy's Yasuo. It is his comfort pick, and then these teams again do know each other very well, and they might have been baiting out that Yasuo.
Well,
That is an option.
Yammer would know how to play against him because he also plays Yasuo.
Fight happening in the jungle. Maokai, how strong can a tree be? Damage amplification coming out from Vladimir, but it's looking like SKB is going to... never mind, Vladimir ulti able to pick up.
Well, Lucian's full health still in the back of this fight, not being touched, gets his damage out. Little misplay there, not focusing damage down on the Lucian, and he just ran havoc in the back line.
Yes, Salted Yams does come out of that 3-2. But again, yeah, because Phoenix has not been touched in the backline, he's able to push down the second inhib tower for the game and might stay. No, he's backing out.
Yasuo dies to minions defending the tower.
Oh no, yes, his super minions being ignored all game. He did drop very low in this fight. And that could just be the mistake that prompts Salted Yams to pick up objectives on the map. They are starting with Dragon. Maokai heading over toward that Baron pit. Going to be, well, just walks past that pink.
Great dodge on the Sonic Wave. Does he pick up the pink this time? No, he just walks past it again.
I think he is just waiting for his team to come back, but their sights... Baron is an option, though I think the safer play, they are so far ahead in this game that Baron would just be one more thing for SKB to come back.
They should be looking at that open inhib top lane there, or bottom.
I am so sorry guys, I forgot the overlay. My apologies. But yes, not taking anything away from this game. The siege now for that last inhib tower. SKB is... oh, the flash from Lucian putting up... yeah, so much damage. The culling comes out. This fight that seems so forced, going Salted Yams away. SKB has no answer. They're doing their best, but this is going to be an ace.
And that will be game. They have the tank line, I feel, to tank out that last Nexus turret. And just go for the end. And actually they have minions now too, so...
Yeah,
Lucian flashing in.
Lucian flashing in, taking advantage of his 917. Absolutely, absolutely killer. Look at this BM going on. The Maokai dive. Will they pick up the Caitlyn? He lasted so long from that. But yes, this will be a victory for Salted Yams in the first game.
If they decide to last hit
If
the
yeah,
net.
if they as you can see, this team, a lot of BM going on, a lot of salt as Salted Yams picks up the first win of this best of
That
three.
was 10 towers to 1 right there. Very strong showing from Salted Yams.